Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is your host, Jamil Hassan, the Crypto Hipster, where I interview founders, entrepreneurs, executives, thought leaders, you name it, across the world of crypto and blockchain. Today, I have an amazing guest. He's chairing the DLT Interoperability Work Group at EEA Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, and he is the Vice President of Engineering at the WAN Chain Foundation. Welcome, my guest, Dr. Weijia Zhang. Dr. Zhang, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jamil. Great to be in this podcast. I'm Weijia, as you mentioned. I have a PhD in physics, and yeah, great to be here.
Awesome. Thank you for joining me. And let's kick things off. I'm looking forward to our conversation. First question, what is your background, and is it a logical background for what you're doing now?
Yeah, I just mentioned that I have a PhD in physics, and that's my academia background. And also I worked for Dell for 13 years. That's another my major background, which is in computer technology, and I have almost 20 patents in digital technology. And these two backgrounds are very, very closely related to blockchain technology. And I can explain that. First, for physics, blockchain and cryptography, people will normally think that they are related to mathematics. But when you actually go to blockchain project, you can see that a lot of physics terminologies over there. These include ether, which is a very, very ancient physics term. And then also cosmos, atom, plasma. So the terminology in blockchain is very, very similar to terminologies in physics. And also I have 13 years working experience with computer industry. And I have been working on system management for a long time and gained a lot of in-depth knowledge on system platforms, including system deployment, networking, remote management, remote monitoring, software update, etc. And these skill sets are very, very critical for today's decentralized blockchain systems. So I found my background in physics and computer engineering a perfect match for my blockchain work. So I have seen this almost as a seamless transition from my background to the existing blockchain work that I'm working on.
I think out of the 400 plus podcasts I've done, you're the first person who said that physics and blockchain are similar.
You know what? Because there have been people coming to me asking me about some of the terminology, physics terminology in blockchain. And there are also projects who coming to me asking me to give them a physics name. It's a top quark, neutrino, or they just want me to give them a fancy physics name for their project. So I think they're very, very, very relevant.
Very cool. I haven't met a blockchain project yet named mitochondria, but we'll see. Maybe we'll.
Yeah, maybe we'll have the project called Muon. Yeah.
Awesome. So I want to find out more about WAN Chain. What's it all about, and what's your focus and purpose?
Okay. WAN Chain is core-chain focused, interoperability focused project. You probably know that when blockchain were developed, all these new blockchains were very, very siloed. They are independent, they are isolated, they don't talk to each other at all. And then at that time, there was a perception that only one will survive, the others will fade away. So that was the concept initially. They are not supposed to interconnect with each other. And today, with all these changes, all these new revolution, we know blockchains are going to coexist. You're going to have thousands of blockchains coexist. Now the challenge is how do you interconnect them? How do you let the asset, message, command go from one blockchain to another blockchain? And I think WAN Chain envisioned that a long time ago. Okay, we started that back in 2018, and then we connected Ethereum already that year. and then we connect it with other blockchains. And the use case have been developing gradually. And today we see that interoperability blockchain is very, very important for the whole blockchain ecosystems. And that's what we have been working on.
So interconnectedness, interoperability. I want to find out from you what the best way to build products that encourage interoperability are, while you also maintain scale or security and focus on scalability.
Yeah, first about interoperability, which is our main focus, right? In order to best build product that encourages interoperability, I believe you need to have three things. First thing is that you need to have standardization for blockchain interconnect. So it's just the internet. Without TCP/IP, there's no way for PCs to be interconnected with each other. So you need to have standards. And today we do not have a standard, kind of a government standard body for blockchain interconnect. So we have been working with industrial standard bodies such as EEA, Enterprise Ethereum, to build blockchain interconnectivity. We can also call it DLT interoperability. So we have been working with EEA, Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. We are releasing DLT interoperability specification this month. And we also build implementations for that. So the first one is that you need to have standards, whether it's government standard or industrial standards, to interconnect blockchain, first thing. Second thing is that we need to build frameworks for that. You need to build a messaging framework, bridging framework to connect different blockchains, whether it's EVM-based or heterogeneous blockchains. And third thing is that you need to have open sources, reference implementations for plug and play components, right? If you have plug and play component, you can build once and then deploy to different blockchains, right? So that would save a lot of energy and make security much, much better. So that's about interoperability. And then for scalability and security is more complex with cross-chain and interoperability, because for single-chain security, you just need to worry about the consensus, you need to worry about the rollback, the finality, and smart contract security. But for interoperability, you need to worry about security of the source chain, the target chain, the relayer, the bridges, everything, right? So single point failure or even a single component failure can impact the whole interoperability. So that's very important. In fact, we have published cross-chain security guideline and also cross-chain decentralized guideline to describe some of these complexities. So security very important, and also scalability you mentioned, right? And that's also challenging, because you are not just improving the scalability for one blockchain with layer 2 or sidechain. You need to look at the whole thing. So we actually have solutions for that already, not just bridging to layer 1, we also bridge to layer 2 and sidechain, etc. And we're also considering the scalability of bridges as well. So these are the things that we have been working on to encourage interoperability while still maintain scalability and security.
Great. So guidelines. When I think of guidelines, I think of a manual. I think of a massive manual. I don't know. I haven't seen your guidelines, but what are best practices? What are some of the things that that are the guidelines that should be adopted immediately, and top few?
Yeah. So the guideline we have is relative. It's not a big manual. It's not a 500 manual. I do have a book which is 450 pages, right? But manual the guideline is relatively easy. That's working with colleagues in EA. Basically describe what are the problems, what are the complexity, and how do you deal with these complexity at the top level. And then when you go to detail, then you can reference to other publications. But to be aware of the complexity, that's a big thing already, because you have seen that almost 1.8 billion assets have been hacked with cross-chain bridges. So some people just didn't know it could be so complex. And so once you know there is a big risk there, people will spend time to improve it, to improve the security. So I think to bring awareness to people, that's a big thing already.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't lose money in a bridge attack, but I lost money recently because my Apple removed the app that I was using for as a wallet, and then I went instead of going to a normal site, I went to a phishing site. So you know, so
Yeah.
I didn't even I didn't even graduate to the bridge phase. But,
Oh,
when I think of interoperability, like with standards, I think of just me. I think of middleware. I think of things like like a chain link or something that's agnostic that talks to you know um, every blockchain and is agnostic. Are you saying you're going to replace the need for a middleware, or how's that going to work?
yeah. You mentioned about Chainlink. Chainlink originally was a Oracle project. It's to bridge the legacy systems to blockchain systems, right? And interoperability is to connect blockchain with blockchain. So they are they are quite different. Of course, Chainlink is going to the route of interoperability for blockchains as well. So we'll see that how that thing play out. Yeah. But originally, Chainlink was an Oracle. It's not an interoperability solution for blockchains.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Um, so if it isn't that, what does the industry need to do to achieve true interoperability?
Yeah, I think that is a great question, and it's also a sophisticated question. I think I would like to classify this true interoperability into two parts. The first part is the technical side of it, right? The technical side of it, I explained. It just means that you've got to have industrial standard. You need to have company project adopt these standards, and you've got to need to have open source components so that people can use these components complying to the standard, build applications that are kind of compatible, consistent across all blockchain, technical side of it. And then there's a non-technical side of it, because a blockchain cross-chain solution may be kind of okay by some government, it may not be okay by other governments. For example, if you may think that interoperability need to touch the connectivity of private blockchain with public blockchain, but the private blockchain normally have some compliances, have some regulation compliance in it. But when you bridge that to a public blockchain, and there is a from compliance system to non-compliance system process there already. So there should be some regulation, good regulations for that, meaning that there need to be definitions on who is liable for breaching a private blockchain asset to a public blockchain, who is liable if something goes wrong, if there's a hack, who is liable for that, and there's a question about privacy as well. When you breach data from a private blockchain to a public blockchain, everybody can see it. And what are the privacy requirements over there? And there are some privacy laws, regulations over there as well. So in order to make this interoperability solution really, really practical and adopted by everyone, there should be good regulations for that, and there should be development of good use cases for that as well.
And you mentioned that in your guidelines.
That one, the regulation piece, we did not, because it's very, very complex, and we hope there will be some lawyers to help us to work on that piece. And we are technical people, so we just bring awareness to the guideline, but we did not say this is what you are supposed to do. We are not that qualified.
Got it. Okay, so the magic word is government. So,
Lawmakers.
lawmakers. Let's talk about lawmakers. I'm going to get on a little bit of a rabbit hole here, but central bank digital currencies, digital IDs, and
Yeah.
attempt to attain harmonization across different countries. What are the key challenges?
Yeah, I think I would say CBDC, central bank based digital currency, will be the ultimate kind of solution for or project for scalability, interoperability, and security. So it's the most complex one. If you have a solution for CBDC, you almost have solved all the technical problems in blockchain already. So CBDC needs to be interoperable. It needs to be work with private blockchains and also with public blockchains. And there's one thing, challenges, but that's a challenge already. Second thing, performance. Today we have TPS, transaction per second. If you have 2,000 transactions per second, you think, hey, that's very cool. We can bring this to the market already. But for CBDC, because the central bank need to process all those transactions for so many people, I would say that I think I'd rather some research paper sometime, and I think that TPS has to be at the 1 million transaction per second level in order to make it practical. So performance scalability is another thing for CBDC. And then security, of course, you have so many components with CBDC, you have commercial bank, you have retailer, you have so many entities over there. Some of these are government-based, some of these are industrial-based, some of these are just normal users, right? And some of these maybe hackers involved in that as well. So security is one of the most important things for CBDC as well, and there are big challenges as well.
It's interesting, you're looking at CBDCs and you're, with the Ethereum Alliance, you are in China, but then also you're looking at them in the US, right? So what's worked for China with the digital yuan, and what lessons can we learn in the US from China, and then maybe Hong Kong and other areas of the world that have been successful in their CBDCs?
Well, I have to say that my opinion on this one is just a normal person. I'm not an expert in this field. Okay, I want to make this clear. And I think first, the Chinese digital yuan is not blockchain based. It's a centralized system, right? And then there are certain things that are different from here as well. I think there's also besides interoperability, security, and scalability, there's also a privacy requirement. And how do you build the privacy into that CBDC system? As different countries have different requirements for privacy. So that's another challenge, right? And this will impact interoperability because a CBDC here, which might be trackable, if you want to port to another country, then there are issues over there. So these are challenges. But I know I'm not expert in this field. I should I should stop here.
Yeah, I'm not an expert either, so I'll stop too. And move on to a different question. Where an area I am an expert in, not expert, maybe I am. I wrote a book called Regeneration X, how my Generation X can use blockchain to restore ourselves into the economy, right?
Yeah.
How can we close the blockchain skills gap? Especially, in industries like where recruiters and firms mandate that applicants be crypto native only when there are a whole heck of a lot of people who understand going from analog to digital, who are not only native, but who have joined the crypto ranks in the last few years.
Yeah, that's a great question. I have first this crypto world is or blockchain world has been evolving at a light speed, and I don't think there's anyone who can, other than a few people, can claim they're crypto native. A few original inventors, but most of us are just coming from different kind of professions, right? And I have seen PhD in music become a great the blockchain programmer. No background in programming at all, no background in blockchain, but become a proficient blockchain programmer. Great guy. Okay, and I have seen, well, you may not, well, some people may find this surprising. I have seen my LinkedIn contact person with master in education became homeless for a while and become a blockchain VC person. Okay, so and these are not crypto native. So I think everybody has a chance if they are kind of have passion and be persistent. And there are many channels for that. And I think the crypto world is very collaborative. If you have a passion, you can always find meetups, like workshops, hackathons, participate in hackathons, take some courses, and join some of these beta test programs, and also become a project manager, can become very proficient blockchain expert. And another thing I want to mention is that the colleges, universities and colleges, there have been many universities and colleges provide blockchain courses already, but I have not seen good blockchain major or crypto major yet in colleges. So in that sense, you don't have a formal degree in blockchain, but at least you have some courses that are focused on blockchain. Yeah, so these are all the channels that can be used, leveraged by people who want to be in blockchain, can start from small and then gradually become expert in this field.
Blockchain major, interesting. How would you design a program that would be a blockchain major? Like, what would that program consist of?
Okay, here's my thought on that one. I can talk in depth on that one. So a blockchain major, right? If you're undergraduate or a graduate degree, right? If undergraduate degree, you should learn the basic skills of programming, right? Just like that. And then you can have 1 or 2 years be blockchain focused. Take some maybe 3 or 4 courses on blockchain, right? And this could be the blockchain technology itself on the architecture level, or could be on cryptography, and could be on the building the smart contract, design the smart contract. Another thing, a big focus, I would think that that's important, is the blockchain security. Because blockchain is interesting. You can write 200 lines of code and have a great depth, but that 200 lines of code, you can have 1 line of code that's not right, and all the assets in that smart contract could be stolen. So security is also important. And I think formal education is to train people to have that engineering rigor mindset, and to be able to build security with engineering rigor to make sure that nothing breaks. Yeah. And that's for the undergraduate level, and then for graduate level, they should deliver a blockchain-based project. So they should design a blockchain-based project and write the thesis on that project.
I liked both. I like both.
Okay.
Where else I'm thinking that a blockchain course could be useful in the area of humanities.
Yeah.
How would you see something being built in the area of humanities?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think there are 2 aspects of it. I think the first thing I want to say that the government always say that we want to protect the U.S. citizens from kind of being assets stolen in blockchain, because there are so many hackers there, and we want to protect U.S. citizens so that and then the way they protect it is not allow you to do anything that's related to crypto or blockchain to block you. That's not right. I think what we need to do is to educate them, to let them be aware of the risk and the opportunity, right? So, and that's something good for these people already, right? It's just to teach them how to use blockchain, how to leverage blockchain for assets, and to build decentralized application for that, to educate them. And second thing is that we need to provide them opportunities. For example, right, just for common good, right? You can have a course for art majors and ask them and tell them how to protect their creativity, right? Because today, if you create a music, you send it out, it get copied, it's gone, right? If using blockchain technology, I should be able to protect my IP, my creativity. I can sell my creativity to other people. That ownership stay with me forever. I don't need to sell my creativity to someone, and that someone probably is a big organization to get all the profit of my creativity. I still can maintain my creativity, and that's for everybody, and that is for common good.
and that's why I don't have sponsors. Yeah,
I didn't know you don't have sponsors, so I can okay, so okay, that's good. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And there should be more people like you. And then if everybody has an opportunity like you, then this society can be much better. That yeah.
I'm not going to sell content to Google, so don't worry. Oh, cool. So, in addition to writing books, I have some books. You wrote a book
Yeah, yeah.
called Blockchain and Ethereum Smart Contract Solution Development. Why? What is it all about? Why should people read it?
Yeah, well, this I know in the broadcast you are not going to show the video, but this is the book. It's a 450 pages book. So my co-author, my friend Tej Aland, and I were teaching a blockchain class at University of Texas, and we found that there was no good textbook for that. So this book was written for graduate students to learn about blockchain. And then so it has been used it's still being used in UT Texas and also University of Maryland. And then there are two parts for the book. One is a business part because this book is for business and technology students. So first part is about the blockchain business, the history of money, how to program money, and then the blockchain architecture overview, etc. And then second part is technology oriented. It's about Ethereum architecture, Ethereum ecosystems, and how to write smart contract. You also have end-to-end illustration of how to build a decentralized application. So great content, and also there's a chapter for how to fund a startup project. So it's very comprehensive.
I think that one's good to know. You know,
Yeah,
let's talk about the history of money a little bit. Um, you wrote this book from an Ethereum perspective, right? There's gonna be
yeah,
there's gonna be people out there who are gonna argue with you, saying only Bitcoin's money and not Ethereum. You know,
yeah,
what do you say to those people, to the critics?
yeah. I think I would like to say there are two circles. Okay, I normally call it two circles. This came from me probably. There's a chain circle and there's a coin circle. Okay, so the technology side is the chain circle, means that we focus on chain technology. And from chain circle's point of view, there's no difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum and Ether, right? If there is a difference, Ether is better because Ether is programmable. And then Bitcoin, of course, Bitcoin has higher value, of course. And then for coin circle people, Bitcoin has higher value because it's the original one and it has a fixed amount, right? While Ethereum, it has the amount can be changed, right? And also another thing is that Ethereum is using POS, proof of stake that of course they save energy. Advantage is save energy, but then Bitcoin has POW, proof of work, that consume a lot of energy. So from my point of view, I think we need to have this one Bitcoin blockchain system, one Bitcoin, and that is a proof of work, but it consumes so much energy, right? You probably should have only one, and then then you can have other things, right? So it'd be like Bitcoin would be like gold. You never trade with gold, but you retain your value, right? And then making that value represented, you store your value. But in order to do the trade, you have to use something that's programmable. And that's what Ether comes in, right? You can program Ether asset and you can do smart contract. And so I do not believe Bitcoin can be used for daily commercial use, but Ether can be, or Ether layer 2 that can be used that way. So they both have values and they should be used in different ways. They are going to coexist for a long, long time.
Yeah, there's been a debate on what should. Yeah, I agree with you. Bitcoin should be used as a store of value and not daily transactions. Ethereum has been, but then you have Tether, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And also the Litecoin folks make a point of what,
yeah.
for retail usage, you know, um, at the end of the day, is there going to be one or is there going to be many? Who's going to win? What's going to prevail?
Yeah, I think they are going to coexist. And they told you, as you see, that there are stable coins, right? And then you have CBDC and all these coming in. So I think that's why interoperability is so important. You are going to have different blockchains coexist. And then you can organizations can govern these tokens, these assets. And for example, like real world asset, you just need to mint the asset in one blockchain, and that blockchain that asset can be represented in different blockchains, but those will be copies. That there will be just one original asset in one original blockchain, and that blockchain doesn't need to be in Bitcoin blockchain or Ethereum blockchain. It could be in any blockchain, and then you can interconnect these blockchains together to make sure that there's only one original copy and the others are images, and they're all coherent. And yeah, and that's why I say there's a harmonic connectivity over there.
I like the fact that you put your book in business schools. So I have a master's degree in finance, and they never taught us how to program. Of course, this is back in half a century, no, quarter century ago. So
yeah.
They never told us about programmable money back then. So I think it's a great idea to do that.
Yeah. I know it's a great idea, and then there are challenges as well, because these people, the people who come to MBA program, they may not have a very strong STEM, the science and engineering background. They may not have that, and I have to kind of teach them how to program with Solidity, which is relatively easy for engineers, but it's quite challenging for business people who have never touched code before. Yeah,
I agree. So, I was a SQL guy in my corporate days, so
Okay, so you're an engineering person already. You have that background already.
Yeah, a little bit. So,
yeah.
I want to thank you very much for talking to me today. I enjoyed speaking with you. I have one last question, really, and that's how can people find out more information about you, about Wanchain? How can they follow your work and get your book? How can they do any of that?
Yeah. I think if you first Google search my name, and then if you type in smart contract, you're going to find the information. And then Wanchain website is there, and a lot of LinkedIn contact as well. You can always get a hold of us. Yeah, I think there's a lot of social media mentioned about us as well, so you can find more information from there as well. Yeah, and I want to thank you for this interview. Very glad talking to you, and then from different perspective.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate it, and I really enjoy speaking with you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.